They say you don't know what you have until it's gone. That's a cliche. The truth is much worse. The truth is, sometimes you know exactly what you have, but you think it's not enough. You think you deserve the fireworks, the Mercedes, the power couple status. I looked at my ex-husband Damian, and I saw a dead end. He drove a 5-year-old Volvo. He wore the same charcoal sweaters. He spent his nights typing code on a laptop that hummed so loud I couldn't sleep. I called it stagnation. I called him boring. So I left him. I monkey-branched to Braden Holt. Braden was everything Damian wasn't. Loud, ambitious, a rising star at Vance Tech. Or so I thought. I didn't know that I was trading a diamond wrapped in newspaper for a piece of glass wrapped in gold foil. I didn't find out until last Christmas. The night my boring ex-husband destroyed my perfect new life without raising his voice above a whisper. My name is Elena, and this is how I lost everything by chasing the wrong kind of man. It started with a text from my daughter Lily. She begged me to invite Damian to Christmas dinner at my mother's house. She said she couldn't stand being alone with Braden. That should have been my first red flag, but I was too busy playing the part of the happy trophy wife. I agreed. Part of me, the petty part, wanted Damian to see us. I wanted him to see Braden. Braden was in rare form that night. He'd leased a new S-Class specifically for the holidays. He was talking about Q4 projections and dominating the boardroom. I was so proud of him. I looked at him and thought, this is a winner. This is a man who takes what he wants. Then Damian walked in. He looked the same, unchanged. While Braden was wearing a $3,000 Italian suit, Damian looked like he was ready to help someone move a couch. I remember curling my lip. I actually felt sorry for him. I thought, look at him. He hasn't moved an inch since I left. Damian, glad you could make it. I see you're still dressing casually.
Comfort over style, Elena.
I rolled my eyes. Comfort. That was his word for lazy. Braden immediately swooped in, gripping Damian's hand way too hard, doing that alpha male posturing thing that I used to think was sexy. Dinner was a disaster waiting to happen. Braden had too much wine before we even sat down. He needed to dominate the room. He needed everyone to know he was the alpha dog. He started grilling Damian. It was humiliating. Not for Damian, but for me. Though I didn't realize it yet.
So, you're the ex. Elena tells me you're freelancing? Tough market. If you need a leg up, I could probably get you an interview for IT support at Vance Tech. Entry level, but hey, it's dental.
I laughed. I actually laughed. I squeezed Braden's hand. I wanted to show a united front. I looked at Damian and said, maybe you should take it, Damian. You were always so stagnant. Stagnant. I called the man who was silently funding my daughter's college tuition stagnant. That's when things got weird. Marcus Vance walked in, the CEO of the company Braden worked for. My mom knew him from the country club. Braden's face went white, then red. He suddenly had to perform for the big boss. He started rambling about his vision and his strategies. He called himself a thought leader.
A thought leader. Tell me, Braden, that new strategy you pitched, where did you get the data? Intuition, buddy. I see patterns in the noise.
I saw Damian smile. Just a tiny little smirk. It was the first time I felt a chill run down my spine. Braden snapped. He couldn't handle Damian questioning him in front of the CEO. He stood up, swaying, and screamed that he was the provider, that Damian was a nobody. And then he threw his wine. Red Cabernet. Everywhere. I froze. I waited for Damian to yell. I waited for a fight. I expected him to cower. But he didn't. He just picked up a napkin. He wiped his face. He looked bored.
Marcus, check your email.
I looked at Marcus Vance. He was looking at his phone, and his expression went from polite guest to cold executioner in 3 seconds.
Braden, you have a stain on your tie, and you're also fired.
What?
My world stopped. Fired? At Christmas dinner?
You're a fraud, Braden. The Holt trajectory model? That's a standard output report from the Oracle protocol, the software I wrote.
I looked at Damian. You? I whispered. But you fix computers. You drive a Volvo. Damian slid his phone across the table. It wasn't a text message. It was a banking app. $12 million and a quarterly royalty check. I felt the air leave my lungs. The boring code Damian had been working on for years? He didn't sell it. He licensed it. He owned the backbone of the company Braden worked for. Damian wasn't unemployed. He was effectively Braden's boss's boss. But Damian wasn't done. He pulled out a folder. I thought it was legal papers. It was worse. It was photos.
You called me a loser, Braden, so I did some digging. That business trip to Miami? That's Faye, the sales rep.
The man I left my husband for. The man I thought was an upgrade. He wasn't just a thief at work. He was a thief at home. Damian kept talking, his voice so calm it was terrifying. He laid out Braden's debts, the leased car he couldn't afford, the credit cards maxed out. Braden had married me hoping my alimony from Damian would cover his debts. He didn't love me. He was using me to pay for the suit he was wearing.
Get out of this house, Braden, and leave my family, before I exercise option A and sue you into oblivion.
I watched Braden crumble. He tried to look at me, to make an excuse. Get out, I whispered. Then I screamed it. Get out! Braden left into the snow. Damian stayed for dessert. He didn't gloat. He didn't say I told you so. He just checked on Lily, thanked my mother for the turkey, and left. I sat there in the wreckage of my perfect life. I realized that night that confidence isn't about being loud. Wealth isn't about a leased Mercedes. Braden is bankrupt now. I'm starting over at 38, living in a studio apartment. Damian? He's in Tokyo this week for a tech summit. He still drives that Volvo, I hear. I chased the glitter and I lost the gold. Don't make my mistake. When you have a good man, don't look for a loud one. Because the quiet ones, they're the ones who hold all the cards.